Welcome back. The gentlemen are in studio ready to talk about matters related to state of our nation. And we'll be taking a look at two newspapers this morning. That is the Standard, the World newspaper, of course, and the Daily Nation. Allow me to introduce the guest in studio, beginning from my far right. Kibet Karibu.
Thank you so much for having me in your show today, and I appreciate it, and I hope it will be a very good, insightful, thoughtful conversation.
Thank you so much.
Asante. I'm still Ojwang, mtoto wa Mariam, Lieutenant Kanali, Senior Warrant Officer 1. And if you're coming from our communities, then you'll know. Mimi ni Mkenya, Kenya nae, lakini Kenya wake usi Kenya. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I almost said tonight.
Karibu tuende tonight. Kumawaka that design. I love it.
I'm used to tonight so much. So this morning, it's all politics.
It's all politics. I see State House. I'm happy at what is happening in State House.
It's all politics. At the moment right now, unajua you can hata wewe unaweza ingia State House.
Wacheni watu waende State House. Ndio wengine waache kukatalia huko ama cha kujenga kanisa huko.
Kila mtu can get to State House. And this morning let's shift our conversations a little bit towards Kisii region, and we're having headline given prominence on the Standard: War against Matiang'i. This is former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's declaration 4 months ago that he will run for president in 2027 has clearly struck a nerve in President William Ruto's camp. Behind the scenes, a covert plan is in motion with state machinery rolled out, senior civil servants flexing power, money changing hands, and threats issued, all aimed at clipping Matiang'i's rising stature in Nyanza and across the country. If you look at the Daily Nation, we have two instances where delegations from the Kisii community visited State House. We have two instances. So the Standard are saying Matiang'i ameambiwa, slow down. Professor wa siasa is still in office, mambo ni tutam. Conversations are shifting towards the 2027 presidential election. If we take a look at the moment, we also have impeached deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua. Acha tuseme entirely because the case is still in court, but we also have him declaring to run for presidency, and he has already begun giving his promises. Amesema he's a truthful man. He won't lie to Kenyans. Muna madeni nyingi. hata wadanganya. We also have a section of Kirinyaga residents saying they're supporting Matiang'i. They're rallying behind Matiang'i. We have Kalonzo. Let me not say he's a backing dog, but we also have Kalonzo, who is on the sidelines also pushing forward for his bid. And we also have the ODM, a section of ODM. We know it's divided at the moment. The likes of Sifuna saying that ODM is capable of presenting their own candidate. Again, let me begin from my far right, Kibet. Let me get your sentiments on the current, not just war against Matiang'i, but the rest towards the presidential elections or the presidency come 2027. What do you feel about it?
The presidency comes 2027. It's a well thought of narrative that President William Ruto will have a second easy chance to the House of the Hill, because all I can see is that Matiang'i and others are preparing for 2032 politics, and 2027 so decided in that given that Raila and Ruto working together, they control a very big margin of numbers, very big margin of counties, that there are almost 21 at the moment. So for you to declare the presidency in Kenya, you need at least 25 counties, and having 21 in control in their numbers, in their basket, it brings us to 4 counties that are 4 counties that are on the margin to flip on the Kenya Kwanza administration. Given that Matiang'i, war against Matiang'i is a non-starter currently at the moment, because when you look at his back, he doesn't have a well-thought mercenaries of voters. Because for you to be declared president, you need at least 2 to 3 million from your ethnic community, and given that the Kisii region almost 1.5 million, the Nyanza community, the whole of Nyanza community are behind President Raila Odinga and William Ruto. It gives Matiang'i a very hard task for him to climb to the House of the Hill.
That is quite bold. The whole of Nyanza region. You know, I come from Nyanza,
Yes.
and you have classified me under the whole of Nyanza region.
Instead
I-
of 21
So, do you
counties.
agree with the standard that the president is shaken?
The president is not shaken because from the word go, people are telling us the president is shaken. How can somebody who controls the entire country be shaken?
21 counties is
to-
not
to-
entire country.
Yes, 21 counties is a very big numbers because for you to win the presidency, you need at least 25 of them. So when you control 21, you remain with 4 counties that are that are battleground. So the battleground counties that we give it to Tarakaniti, we give it to Meru, we give one to, let's say for example, give one to Kisii, because Kisii the other day we saw a very handful people from Kisii region and Nyamira coming to State House. So those are almost 4 counties. And having that, people are telling us the election is about numbers. It's not about the rage you create on social media and everything. And election is being won at the polling station. So having 21 counties in the basket, it gives President William Ruto second term so much easy. And when you see the opposition are not all united. Given that Matiang'i, Kalonzo, and others, those I think for Matiang'i, we can give him a try in 2032 after Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Ruto get over the scene.
Mm-hmm. But going by the fact that the Kisii region has been called to State House twice, could this be a sign that the president is trying to shift prominence from Matiang'i to his side?
No, the president is not. The last year election, I was supporting Raila Amolo Odinga, and we were behind fully Azimio, and Raila got almost 50% of votes in Kisii region. Now, President William Samoei Ruto got almost 30% or 33%, from 30 to 33%, and they were not. Most of the Kisii were in ODM. Up to now, most of the Kisii are in ODM. Given that also Matiang'i controls some major sections of Kisii County and Nyamira, I give him that. So, 2027, bringing grassroots leaders to State House, it's about changing the grassroots election. The elections are won on grassroots, and when you have the opinion shapers, the grassroots leaders, and the leaders from Kisii and Nyamira, it gives President William Ruto an upper hand in the coming election. Changing from 33% up to 40 to 45%.
All right. Ojwang,
Wamecheza na numbers.
is the president shaken?
The president is shaken by those same numbers. You are a president of the country. It means in 2022, more than 25 counties had said, Hustler Tosha. If you have Baba on your side today, who controls ODM at the grassroots level, it means you're supposed to still have your 25%, plus at least 10% of Baba. Let me tell you why he's shaken. Before 2022, from 2022, people were not going to State House until people start questioning State House, because the civic awakening has started to make people see State House as their own. It is ours. It does not belong to the president. And you will hear these debates. They trended when State House was being allocated billions for renovations, for roofing, for renovations again. And now, President Ruto is reminding them that you can come here to sisi wote. Shamba la wanyama narrative. And mahali kuna tanda belua zaidi. Ni hapo mahali Daktari Matiang'i anatoka. On August 10th, Nyamira and Kisii waliingia State House. On September 11th, Kisii waliingia State House tena. But he has said that in the last election, 2022, the Azimio carried the day in Kisii region. The last time I ever saw the senator for Kisii, Richard Onyonka, who was rooting for Matiang'i. But CS Migos Ogamba Julius, if you may, has been not in the ground. Yeye hajulikani kwa ground. Yeye ni mtu alikampeni campaign wakaweka ule mzee masomo yakamlemea kabisa, wakasema ule mwenye alikuwa anataka kuwa deputy governor wako ndo atachukua. Now that's how Ogamba came into limelight. But on the other hand, Matiang'i has been there as a CS for Interior and Administration, and he was called a super CS. So anajulikana pale mtaani. When he was campaigning in 2022, he was in Azimio. So anajua ile nguvu walipeleka huko Kisii, Nyamira, now that wanatoka hayo maeneo. So ni kugumu pale kwa ground, but pesa ni mingi zaidi. And the youths of this country know and understand one thing. Na tulisema manze, kula kwa wote, kura ndo siri. Wewe ukiona pesa inakuja, ebu vaa hiyo t-shirt. Hata hatuna nguo mpya siku hizi. Kama t-shirt imekuja ni ya Jubilee, unavaa, unalipo zako, unaenda home. Usipigane na mtu yeyote, unakula fit. Na tulisema pia pesa za campaign usitumie kukunywa pombe. Kula nyama wewe. Next wameleta ya DCP, ingia hapo hivyo, wakiitana State House, usiogope, everyone is going to State House and no one is benefiting after. Una benefit tu hiyo siku ya kuingia State House. The other day they had empowerment where youths from our constituency Roysambu attended. Wengi sana tuliona mpaka kwa video. Mambo yalikuwa matamu kule, pilau iko na kichele. Wanasema 2 term. After wameondoka unasikia sisi bodaboda zetu hazikufika, watu wengine waliibiwa. Inafika mahali hadi MCA anaambiwa zile groups ama CBO mlipe empowerment equipment, tunataka video yao. Unapata group moja hawa watu wako hapo 10, hizi zingine 4 ni the same people. Ni vile kwa hii huyu ndio chairman, kwa hii nyingine huyu mwingine ndio secretary. So hakuna watu hapa, ni watu the same. Utapata hawa watu wa Kisii wenye walikuwa huku August 10th ndo wako September 11th. Ndio maana hadi wanafika mahali wanaitwa grassroots leaders. Ndio usiuliza kwani wale pekee ndo ukuja. Sasa ndio uambiwe hapana, hao ni viongozi wanakuja kuwapangia mambo. But in real sense mambo mangapi yamepangika?
Alright. Ojwang, someone might argue umesema the president is shaken. Ruto has been, we call him Professor wa Siasa. He has been in politics from being elected as a member of parliament.
I think the Gen Z ndo wanaweza muita hivyo. I think the Gen Z ndo would call President Ruto Professor wa Siasa.
Now looking at Matiang'i, he's not been elected by the public.
Yeah.
So how would the president be shaken by someone who has not been elected before?
No, when you're talking comparing Ruto vis-a-vis Matiang'i, then we are missing the whole picture that concerns opposition. Because it's not only Matiang'i who's going for the presidency in 2027. And the more we keep fighting at your Ruto against Matiang'i, the person who is gaining there is Matiang'i. Because we are saying this other professor has been in politics since akiwa kijana kina Ojwang 1992. Alikuwa YK 92, si ndio? Saa hizi tumesema, na sio mimi nimesema, that he has control of 21 counties. Yet, for you to be allowed by IEBC to vie, you must be supported by 25 counties. It means, as it stands right now, angeenda tu kuvai, hangepata hata hiyo nini ticket. Juu ako 21, anasema ako 21 counties ndo zinamsupport. The rest zinadwindle. He's shaken up by that because it is the same person who is said aliwin na 50 plus in 2022.
Let me correct you a little bit because you don't understand what I say. President, if you go back to 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta had 19 counties, and he won the election. 2017.
2017, President Uhuru.
Yes. He had 19 counties on his basket and he won the election. On his second election. 2020, right now, President William Ruto is not shaken. And I can give you...
He has how many counties?
He has 21 counties. 21 counties.
And Babas?
if you add, let's say for example, if we add Baba's, if we go with the last election, Raila got 6.9 million, Ruto got 7.2 million.
But Raila got those votes because of people like myself. I voted for Raila.
I also voted for Raila. And
I
now
will not vote for Raila in
I'll
2027.
vote for
You will
William
not
Ruto.
vote for Raila.
I
You
will vote for William Ruto.
You
Yes.
see, so hatuwezi piga hizi hesabu vile zilikuwa
That's not
2022.
true.
Namba zimebadilika sana.
Even if numbers imebadilika,
Unajua 2022
you'll agree with me, if you add 7.2 million plus 6.8 million, those are almost 15 million votes. And if you minus 4 million, those are 10 million. So
I think
William
we are
Ruto is
living
not
in the
shaken.
past.
William Ruto is not shaken. President William Ruto presidency is not shaken because for the last 3 years in Kenya Kwanza government, people are blaming President William Ruto because of inflation, and for people like the truthful man from he is a coward because at the end of the day he doesn't mean his words. He told us that he compares his presidency with Kibaki, and he forgets that under Huru regime we experienced a lot of things that could not been accounted for. Under Huru regime there was a lot of taxes being implemented because at that time we had the first finance bill. At that time the inflation rate was very high, the bay of unga was very high, the bay of fertilizers was high. Because at that time people were very focused on stealing and over borrowing and over taxing Kenyans. Right now the president came and said enough is enough. We're not going to follow what Uhuru did in the last 10 years. For me, I'm going to change the narrative. I'm going to bring the services closer to Wananchi, and that's what President William Ruto has done in his 3 years of tenure in government. So when people compare, when people are saying President William Ruto is one time, those are just nonsense.
Can I speak about borrowing? In the whole
All right.
decade, 10 years of former president and the late President Kibaki, he borrowed 1.2 trillion. 10 years.
Yes.
Right now,
We go with
1
Huru.
year.
I'll go with Huru.
1 year. Uhuru, okay. Uhuru, we can also compare what Uhuru borrowed in the whole 10 years.
How much? How much did he borrow in the last
9 trillion.
9 trillion.
10 years.
10 years, yes.
Right now, we are talking about 1 year. We have already borrowed 1.2 trillion.
Let me
Last
ask
week
you.
on the newspaper review, we were translating this imeandikwa kwa gazeti to 3.3 billion a day in terms of kukopa. But hizi pesa tunafaa kukopa for development. There is no other reason unafaa kukopa. Ufai kukopa ulipe watu.
Let me ask you a simple question because you don't understand. The last 10 years of Uhuru, we had Eurobond, right? It had
Hadi
matured.
saizi iko. In fact tumechukua mpaka ingine.
It had matured, right? First installment was supposed to be paid this year. President William Ruto, he had to
Lazima angekopa alipe.
Alipe.
Na si umesema akopi.
You have to borrow to repay.
if you compare,
So you listen,
If-
according to our constitution, the only reason you are supposed to borrow, hata kama ni IMF, ni ufanye maendeleo ndo tupate njia ya kulipa. Otherwise, if I will borrow anyango hapa Sylvia 10k ndo nikulipe wewe, hawa wenye watalipa watabaki na deni mara 3.
All right. Let's shift this discussion from Madeni. We were talking about if Matiang'i is shaken,
Matiang'i
if Uhuru
is shaken.
shaken.
Matiang'i is shaking, and I've talked about
Not
numbers.
Matiang'i, Ruto.
No, they are shaken, both of them. Ruto is shaken because of numbers. He has 21 counties right now. With all that power, 21 counties vis-a-vis 2022, and you have been. People are calling you a professor of politics. You have been there since 1992. It is because people are crying. Hawa watu wanaingia State House, wakirudi nyumbani, wanaenda wanalia. Watashukuru juu ya hiyo siku wamepata punch. Na hiyo ndo siku pekee wanasema 2 term. Ukimpata kwa the next nini atasema 1 term. Ukimpea punch tena atasema 2 term.
All right. Now let's shift from that conversation whether Matiang'i is shaken, Ruto is shaken.
They are shaken. Everyone is shaken.
We'll
Whatever
see
we
that
are-
on the polls.
Whatever we're experiencing right now, we have never experienced it. That's why we are saying if you compare 2022 and 2027, you say that Ruto will win because he won in 2022. You are living in the past.
you're not living in the past because it's truth. President William Ruto doesn't have it. when you look all those the three candidates that are vying for president, do you think Matiang'i has the muscles to hoover around the country
But I
to
know
look for
seven.
every
Najua
single
seven.
votes? Who are the seven? Because
Seven. We have Okia Omtata.
okay, Mtata, he can't.
We have David Maraga.
David Maraga, he cannot. He doesn't understand the dynamics of politics. We got.
But he has been a president in the judiciary.
I love
There's difference between being a civil servant and being a career politician. Those are two different things.
But we are the same Kenyans who are saying we need to elect leaders and not politicians.
Kenyans will elect politicians.
Not leaders.
President William Ruto is a leader and a politician at the same time.
A leader has goodwill. A politician doesn't.
This is going to get deep. When we are talking about conversations on goodwill, it's going to get deep. Let's shift gears from politics a little bit and talk about this is matters. How will I categorize this? No kiss, no marriage. Court widens divorce grounds, redefines cruelty. That story is on The Standard, page 3. And Justice Nyakundi ruled that no couple should be coerced into sustaining a marriage that exists only on paper. Please don't bring politics in this. I know, Juang, you might say, oh, marriage yenye tuko nayo sahi na Kenya Kwanza, it's a failed marriage. Don't bring politics in this. The case before the court involved a couple married in 2012 who had not been intimate since 2020. It's 2025.
They've been married on paper.
They've been married on paper, and they are so much broader. Sorry. That is the grounds of divorce, and this, they say, it involves physical and mental cruelty, among many other issues listed there on page 12. The reason why I wanted us to talk about this is about the mental state of our country right now. We've had a story run on the police officers being advised to save for their future. And I don't know about the numbers. I've not looked into the numbers. But I wonder how it's like to live with trauma and survive in a marriage with a police officer. I don't know how good they are, because research says that they are most traumatized because they interact with crime at the initial stages, because they're the first responders as far as crime is concerned. We also have the economic situation in the country leading to failed marriages, because sometimes they say that money is not everything in a relationship, but money controls the relationship. So we have issues that are leading to emotional trauma in relationships and families that we don't talk about. We only talk about it at the time when imefika, when tunasema, hey, you're a toxic person, I cannot live without you anymore. But we forget what leads to that. And from having financial difficulties, which is mostly stemming from everything we say in this show, that stems from governance. Let me begin with you, Juang. The current state of our emotional health, what would you stem it from? Where do you root it from, the current state of our mental health? Because I believe in solving problems from the roots.
You know, one of the reasons I'm peace and sustainability advocate is because I believe everything good a man does in search of peace. Everything bad a man does in search of peace. And in this case, it's not only the police alone who go through such traumas. Even other industries, the corporate sector, unaingia bank, unapata huyu madam aliamka, maybe juu ya kuchoka jana aliamka late. Sasa amechora tu nini hata ijatokea vizuri. So ukimwangalia first impression, you think she's already angry. You want to sympathize. Na niaje madam, ukitumia hiyo sauti sasa anajam. Juu yeye amefurahi sana, ni vile tu alichora nini vibaya, anajam, anaanza kukumbuka kila kitu kilikuwa kimemjamisha. Maybe akona watoto, mostly 3. Amesumbuliwa na house girl. pesa hazitoshi zile analipwa, hata kosa hizi shida za mental health. That's why people look for what they call better halves, because when unaenda kutafuta bwana ama unaenda kutafuta bibi, unatafuta mtu mwenye you can ease the struggles of life, you can be yourself even with them, you can be vulnerable even on their side bila wao kukujaji. So it's so hard kwa wale ambao wameolewa na wanapolisi ama wameoa wanapolisi, because mwanapolisi siku yake by jioni, apart from kuona hongo, kuna vitu zingine mwanapolisi huona zenye ni traumatic. Si hongo pekee, ameenda witness case ya accident, yeye kama first responder atashughulika pale hivyo, ameanza kudeal na damu, na juu ni binadamu ana get emotional. Most of them hata hawana ile usaidizi enough ya medical, so they have to do contact, wapigie hosi. Sasa si anafanya first aid na first aid ajui. The more you get messy, unakuwa na hizo mental pictures hadi ukifika home. Unafika home, unapata mshahara yenye unapewa na serikali yako ni kidogo, so pale nyumbani huko umeacha do. Unapata bibi amejam to a point, maybe yeye afikiri vile anaweza saidia, anashangaa mbona wale polisi wengine wamejaza hongo mifukoni, wao hadi matumbo zinakaa hivi, na huyu bwana wangu kila siku anakuja tu na traumas. Hao ndo hao good cops ndo wanaumiaga in terms of mental health. Bad cops hawaumii. Bad cop hakuna mahali anaumia huko nje. It's only the good that suffer. Even in cases of mental health issues, hao wenye ni wazuri ndo wanasuffer, and it calls upon us in how we are relating in one another. Tunakuwa very careful. Ukipatana na ule kijana pale, understand that ule kijana anaweza kuwa ni baba ya mtu, ule kijana anaweza kuwa hadi ni bwana ya mtu, but the state ya mental health yenye imemweka hapo, maybe financial reasons ama mashida zingine, imemfanya akae kama hana dignity. So wewe usimnyime dignity, so that when kama goes around, it does not do the same to you. And when it does the same to you, because you won't feel vibaya. Hauta feel vibaya mtu pengine akikufanyia mabaya ama akitaka kukukwaruza. Kwa nini? You understand anatafuta peace na hana, unajaribu tu kumgawia. We can do it. Sio polisi pekee wanaumia, sote tunaumia. Ulize Gen Z squeeze ya wawani, wanasema wewe kuwa bro basi tutaongea, wewe kuwa sis tutaongea, cooperate.
All right, Kibet, what's your sentiments on the current state of our mental health in the country?
The current state of the mental health in our country, it's a bit fragile, because everybody goes through different kind of battles in their life, and you cannot compare myself to yourself at the end of the day, because my level of thinking and your level of thinking, those are two different kind of thoughts. So it's about understanding one's nature, because they are very kind. If you go to psychology, there's avoidant, there are narcissist, there are those different kind of human behavior that are they're into their heart. So mostly depends on how somebody is being brought up. So I cannot speak more about this thing, because it's a very wide kind of field. To the level of depth in it, it's so high that it needs mutual understanding and a mutual relationship between two people.
How do we get ourselves from this?
First of all, to deal with mental health, it's very hard, and to get through it, it depends on one's level of capacity, or one level of thoughts for you to deal with it. Some people may think that death is the only way, but for me, I don't advocate for that, because at the end of the day, you have to sit down, talk, and when you talk to somebody, and someone who listens to you, we're going to advise you on how to go about it.
Right. Thank you. I was almost becoming sentimental.
Msilie.
All right. Now, our teachers in the country have been complaining. Where is that story? Page 2 of the Standard. Teachers back Missouri on hosting JSS in high schools. That is career path. We have several complaints related to JSS. We have where teachers are complaining that the primary schools are not able to host the JSS learners in as far as laboratories is concerned and all that. And we also have the teachers themselves complaining about having about their career progression. And I understand that the JSS, because I'm a teacher also, if you're in JSS, you're under C2, your salary is just the same as that person who is in high school. Everything is the same. So there have been complaints that they want their own body, or rather they want the children to go to campus, not campus, to high school where there are laboratories that can support them. And we've also had parents having their fair share of complaints that the children are too young to be going to campus at that age.
Is it campus or high school?
Oh, sorry. High school at that age.
Yes.
I want to take when I didn't want to come back to politics, but anyway, everything touches on politics in this country. So when our president was coming in, during the campaigns, one of the promises was that he will do away with CBC, which he did, because right now it's CBE. Right now it's CBE. But still we have a problem in as far as the syllabus is concerned. We've had teachers complain at the beginning of the terms that they don't know what they're going to teach. We've had them complain of mode of delivery, especially for the STEM subjects in terms of laboratories and all that. So it is this mode of education, not the mode of education. Under free primary education, we've had conversation about that, and under the new constitution, in as far as education funding is concerned and all that, we also have. We are talking. I want us to wrap matters education all in one. We've also had a situation where the dons, university dons, have given their strike notice that they're going to down their tools if they're not their agreements are not met. Let me begin from you, Kibet. Is there something that we are doing wrong as a country, and are we risking the future of our young people in the country because of these very many complaints that you're seeing, or is this just propaganda?
At the end of the day, change is gradual, and change is inevitable in each and every country. If you look at the level of education in our country, it was a way back, because Ghana had overtaken us and South Africa in terms of the central CBE in education. So for us to change, because right now the president had allocated 1 million shillings to each and every primary school to build grade 9. So that's a level step ahead, and it's a level step ahead, because at the end of the day, people should each and everybody, even the Constitution of Kenya says everybody should have in learning, a right to right to education, and right to education, right to health, and because it is also entailed in our Constitution. So when people complain about a problem, they always summarize it into one, and they look for solutions. So I'm sure right now that the president is working in day out to make sure that the learners in primary school get the best education going forward, because at the end of the day, bringing junior secondary schools, it brings a leeway in that. I'm looking in that. Yes, they are bringing laboratories to primary schools. Also, that opens a leeway for job employment, and job employment for other people who have done laboratories. Because if let's say, for example, there are 10,000, if next financial year the president decided that I'm going to build 10,000 laboratories, those are also 10,000 job employments, the people who will be employed in the market. So for me it's like the transition was very fast. It happened under Uhuru administration, and under Ruto administration it's kind of improving. So by the time we are in the fourth or fifth year in the education CBC, everything will be well streamlined.
let me bring a question of goodwill, because when this was brought, I had many teachers say that it's a good thing, despite complaints from parents that this is it brings the work to the teacher, because sometimes you go to a cyber and you find a parent doing work for the student, or teachers, okay, is it the teachers or the syllabus asking for really crazy stuff?
Yes.
Unaitishwa sijui ngozi ya sijui nini, mnaenda kuunda ngoma and it's in Nairobi, so you wonder how that is going to happen. But then when the president was coming in, the first thing we saw him appear to be fighting the new education system. So I have a question of goodwill in terms of education. Was it to build his own legacy, or was he fighting his predecessor, or what was it about?
When president was fighting about at that time, the CBC, the competency based education, those CBC and CBE right now, and when you look at other countries that are advancing against us in the job market and in terms of technology, if you look at Ghana education, in 2000 Kenya education was the best in all of Africa.
And today,
not today, because South Africa and Ghana had overtaken us, and also Rwanda was at the verge of overtaking us. So how do we improve our kids in the next job market? So we have to bring something that are very competency based education to learners, in that when they come to the job market, somebody will know where he will advance his career on, or he will the pathway to job market. It has been now made easier for learners at the end of the day, because somebody will know this is where I'm going to pursue this, and after this is what I'm going to do in my next career.
Yes. Ojo, as a parent, are you worried about the education of your child?
that question is too specific, because I'm not worried about education of my daughter, but I'm worried about education of all other children. The reason I'm not worried about mine is because I take education so personal that I'm the first teacher of my daughter. I'm the first mentor of my daughter. In fact, when I told her to write anything, she wrote that I'm best friend. So as a friend, I'm a teacher. Mtoto wangu huenda shule akalan kudeal na wale watoto wengine, akalan kukaa kwa system for those hours hadi saa 10 akiwa ametulia kwa hiyo gate, and then afanye exam. But hizo zingine zote ni responsibility ya kila mzazi kujifunzia mtoto. Ndio maana wengine usema wacha mimi nipeleke wangu Brookhouse. Alafu yule mzazi mwenye ako pale gate au mashinani amelemewa kabisa, anapatia serikali imsomeshe through public primary education. In 2 or 3, let's talk about why people get second chances and why they should not get second terms. In 2 or 3, someone was telling both President Kenyatta and President Moi that we can have free primary education in this country if all things were right. They did not believe him. But in 2002 October, Raila Odinga says Kibaki tosha. And immediately, kuingia tu hivi, immediately masomo ikakuwa ya bure, whether tuko na do ama hakuna do. But in 2022, immediately tuliambiwa kwanza tuko na empty coffers, mngojee kwanza tutafute pesa. Kwa process ya kutafuta pesa, education ili deteriorate. Education today is not the same as education before 2022. Yet, before 2022, tulikuwa tumepitia hadi pandemic moja noma. If today a pandemic hits Kenya, I bet tuko na goodwill ya kusaidia hawa wa Kenya. Hatuna. Bado tumekwamia kwa education. Education ndo kitu kikubwa sana kilifanya. When people were campaigning, those who were campaigning for President Mwai Kibaki in 2007 to come back, wakisema Kibaki tena, they were using education. Wakisema huyu ametuletea masomo ya free, uchumi unawaka, and that is then. World today, kwa wale ambao wamemake it washaomoka, wanasema wamemake it juu kuna financial literacy, digital innovation, education systems iko fiti, meaning kama 2 or 3 tulimanage kufanya hivyo, leo, hata si leo, in 2023 tulifaa kuwa mbele sana. That is why wale vijana ile 203 walikuwa wametengeneza kitu inaitwa Vision 2030, that by 2030 wasee tumefika hapa. But saa hizi the more 2030 inakaribia, the more tunatoka kwa vitu zenye zinaongelelewa. When free primary education came, teenage pregnancies zilipungua kiasi. Juu kila mtu hadi machief walikuwa huko kazi yao ni kutafuta ni mtoto wa nani aende shule. Ni mtoto wa nani sijua, kama wewe ni mzazi na mtoto wako aende shule anashikwa. But today wazazi wanaambia watoto wao tukae tu hapa juu tutadu. Sina fee, niko na watoto watano hapa. And when they talk to their women rep, one of the things that made Esther Passaris akemewe sana ni solutions the government will offer. Moja ni hii, watu wa ghetto wacheni kuzaana sana, makosa ni nyinyi mlishazaana. And now here comes a mother akona watoto tayari 10 na walishawazaa, hata tu na waizi rudi tumbo. Being born again si kurudi kwa tumbo. We are already here. How do we deal with these problems? Kitu cha kwanza, we need a leader with goodwill. Ndo hata kama ni kuhaso basi, wache kuhaso peke yako kama scavenger. Tuhaso sisi wote. Wacha kuingia huko hiyo nchi nyingine unaenda tu kupiga deals zako wewe pekee. Na unasema in the name of Kenya. Unachukua mikopo in the name of Kenya. But hii mikopo ni ya kukulipa beshte yako.
Let me correct you on one thing that you have said, that right now Kenyans are not they're not having a right to education. If you go to most of these homes in Kenya right now, 90% of people have done up to form 4. 90%.
Kama walifanya si juu ya tunaongelea 2022 kukuja.
No,
administration na vile administration imeharibu education.
No, the administration has not.
Pale ghetto wa mama wenye hawajapata bursaries, one of the things zenye zilikuwa zinafanya sakaja asukumwe home ni juu ya bursaries. Na hizi bursaries hata zikikua, how many students get these bursaries?
If you go to
those
school,
who don't get will not go to school.
Hapana.
Yet in the constitution it is a basic right to access basic education in this country. Toka hapo hivyo ingia new funding model. Hii funding model inaweka watoto in batches. Unapata hawa wawili ni mapacha na ni watoto wa maskini. Mmoja amewekwa band 1, si juu anaweza imba vizuri, wanasema kwao ni matajiri. Huyu mwingine na ni twin anawekwa band 5.
You know people for us we have a right to complain, right?
Yeah. Why are you complaining?
So at the end of the day, if people complain, they always summarizes into one, and they always get solutions. And at the end of the day, there are solutions for everything. I believe right now is that I know some might not get bursaries, and some might not get, some might not have money, financial power to educate their kids. But at the end of the day, the government has tried in out to make sure that everybody, they have a right to education.
Hakuna trying.
The government has done each and because right now 90% of Kenyans have done up to form 4.
Apana, sio 90%.
We are talking about the complaints that are related to JSS because it is what we expect to be. Right now, most people have done form 4 are the ones who went through the 844 system.
Nani hao wenye wanasema
We are talking about we are talking about the now CBC, where there are a lot of complaints, and what is being done to address these challenges? That is our question this morning, on the JSS. That is what we are talking about. Is our future safe in the next 10 years? These are people we expect to be joining. They'll be in campus, ready for the job markets. But at the moment, they're having problems with the curriculum itself. So, is there goodwill in as far as education is concerned?
The fundamental of every new aspect in the market, it always possesses new challenges. And the new challenges is what makes something to grow hard and thick. So what I believe is that the government is trying each and every effort to make sure that all the complaints are being addressed true. That's what I believe in, because right now we have had so many things that are very new. The digital superhighway, and the digital superhighway does bring in TVET. That is one. Number 2, it has bring in SHA and the Taifa Care and all those others, and also education. So when you go to each and every to each and every is it called aspect of the three the government has tried to brought into our country. They have had challenges, right? But at the end of the day, the challenges is what makes it to improve for efficiency.
All right. Now, there's a story. Is it just a minute? I think it's the Standard. That is on page 5. Shame on capital city without working surveillance cameras. The Standard is saying the killing of lawyer Mbobu has exposed the capital's collapse surveillance project and widening insecurity gaps. Costly cameras fail has forced police to depend on unreliable private footage and outdated investigative methods. This is in relation to what happened last week, and right now I believed that when you're someone who is always watching movies, you're always believing that that is something that can also apply in your country. Something happens in a random street and then CCTV footages are out and all that. But at the moment in our capital, this is according to Standard again. They're saying that surveillance cameras are not working, and they have given a record. I think it's from 2012 to 2015, where the new ones were integrated. I believe this is something that we should be having as a country. I just want to ask the question. I don't know where I'm getting flu and join Awaka. I just want to ask the question that Kibet as a person, away from abductions, away from, all those things, do you feel safe in the city?
I'm not safe in the city because what I believe is that the right for security is there as a person that I need to be protected by the government of Kenya because a life is very important. When you lose a life, it's like you are losing so many things in the country. So there are people who are bringing the presidency down by not maintaining or sustaining because at first the CCTV surveillance camera in the city was a very good, it was a very noble project by the former regime to bring security at hand. Now the cartels and the cartels and everybody are trying in and out to make sure that the CCTV are not working because they are doing something things that are not unworthy to Kenyans and things that are not not of goodwill to Kenyans. So I believe that the other day I saw the MCS of Nairobi. They were telling Sakaja, no, you need to make sure the CCTV in Nairobi are working after because in a span of 2 years we have lost so many great people because the former MP Were who lost his life and now we have a city lawyer, a city tycoon. So it means that it can be me tomorrow. So what should be done in the security sector is that each and every places we need to have a proper, well maintained security so that people cannot lose their life. And if somebody lose their life, the people who have done those heinous act should be brought to book, and having CCTV will be easier for us to trace those people who are doing those kind of things in the city.
If you were to point fingers in this matter, who should we be pointing at?
First of all, the county government of Nairobi because they are the one who collect taxes on behalf of the national government. So the county government of Nairobi and the security sector should come up with how to cope up with this mechanism of making sure that every CCTV in the city is working.
All right. Now, John, from where you sit, who should we blame?
We are blaming the head as you are coming down.
I saw that coming.
We starting from bottom up because it didn't work. Nairobi needs prayers, not from Christians, everyone. Mungu mwenye unaombaga hadi waras waungane, because in less than 5 years we've witnessed blood. Leo you are talking about that you've not been around the world for very many years, so you have not seen so much. Hata sisi vitu mingi sana tumeziona hii nchi, tumeziona in this period 5 years hazijaisha. Everything we have seen it there. We have seen a world where Nairobi, capital city, a place that is glorified by international nations. They call Nairobi, Kenya, the capital of Africa. People being shot, hapa kichwa hivi, papa. Things that we see kwa games za kuua zombie ama zombie hayo, hapo ndo unaona mtu ameuliwa hivyo. Because huyu usipomuua hivyo atakuuma. Now a man selling mask is being killed. Now we are supposed to take these people and bring them to book, right? The book iko na watu kaa kina DIG. So mahali unafaa upelekwe kwa books ni place ka Central Police, hapo ndani ndio we investigate, we take you to a court of law and the judge will say whether you are innocent or guilty. Unakufa usiku, inasemekana wewe juu ya shida za mental health zenye ziko na vijana wa Gen Z huku Kenya ulijigongesha kwa ukuta.
Okay.
Those are the books. Saa hizi lawyers kama huyu atauliwa na shida zenye hatutajua ni gani, because jana nilikuwa naongelea hii kesi ya wakili Bobu, and it's one that is full of mysteries. Haijulikani kama ni political assassination because he was a former chair, political parties dispute. Haijulikani kama ni deals za kiwakili because he's a scholar and a lawyer, na inasemekana kuna place waliskim vitu. Haijulikani kama ni biashara kwa sababu wakili Bobu inasemekana alikuwa na madeni mengi. Haijulikani kama ni mistaken identity. Could be hata huyu jamaa alikuwa anaenda kumuua, hakuwa ametumwa huyu. Batasha apiga risasi ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu. Maybe alikuwa short sighted kama mimi, ndio anaangalia vizuri na ule ni wakili. Na juu wakili ataenda kunisema anaongezea zingine. They were 8 bullets. That is something serious yenye bila hizi CCTV zenye zinafaa kukua, inakuwa iko at stake. Kuna watu wanaweka security yetu at stake. Na wanajua and they cannot do anything. And then they know they have higher power. Because kama tutablame Nairobi County Government vile Madoka amesema, Nairobi County Government kama inaongozwa na Sakaja, he knows I will call Baba. Na MCA wataitwa State House, wengine waitwe kwa Baba, na hii kesi yote itaisha. Yes.
Okay. Time is really not on our side. I would love for us to give a story of choice as you give your final remark. Let me begin.
Tunaanza hapa. Mimi nataka kuongelea story ya kwa Binzaro and
Shortly, please.
Yeah, kwa Binzaro na vitu zenye zina happen. These people are seeking the face of God. Wamekosa peace na pia wako na umaskini. Jana on Art and Culture Monday we had someone from the Coast Blue Smile, na alikuwa anatuelezea kuhusu hao watu ambao wanajipata katika hizi dini potofu. Watu wa kuwekea fu. Wewe kama uko na Biblia jisomee, kama uko na Quran jisomee. Are you seeking God? Anza na kwako hapo kwa nyumba before mtu aanze kukuambia hebu tukae njaa mpaka tukufe twende tukaone huyo Mungu.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Before I give a story that urge Kenyans of goodwill to support the Kenya Kwanza administration, because this is what they have done for Kenyans, and to tell people to register for SHA, because I know SHA is working, and SHA is the way. SHA is the way, and they say
The truth and life.
And the truth and life.
Manze kuna watu wanakufa
And,
geto wakisema hivyo.
And the reason why I'm saying this is that from NHIF to SHA, it has there are so many things that the government has done to bringing a digital superhighway in health, and I believe that for Kenyans to get for you to get health, for you to get to be, because it's a right for somebody to be treated in public hospital fairly and and squarely. And what I believe is that you should register for SHA, and the SHA will. I know that people will say it's not working, but I believe it's working. And I'm going to give it a story by Winston Churchill. It's a quote by Winston Churchill where he says, "Success is not final, and failure is not fatal. The 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 enthusiasm of you continuing to do is what makes you as a person."
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us this morning. There is quite a lot of that can be talked about because the newspapers are huge and so many good stories. So if you want details of any of them, you can always get a copy of the same. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us. We have Ojwang Mariam, our very own, and Masden Kibet. I hope I got it right. Thank you so much for making time for us. From us, it's a wrap. See you next time.